Okay, I'm back. So we're going to finish uh, Bernie. I'm going to show you some things and show you how to make a shadow. Now, I want to show you this too. So if you haven't started yet, again, and you're coming back, or let's say you started and now you're going to get back into it. So this is what's nice. Now I'm going to go back to Pixlr. Of course, I want to make sure I'm in E. And there's the Bernie I was working on. So once you've started it, it'll be there. Unless I know somebody else had a different computer they were working on, so it wasn't there. Now I've got two computers. Sometimes I work on one, sometimes I work on the other. And when I'm working in on this one, then the other, it's not on the other one. So I always have to make sure I'm in the same computer. So I want Bernie, so I'm going to click on Bernie. Now, another thing about I'm gonna show you this too. Another thing, when you're erasing, one of my secrets is I like to have a layer behind them that has color. So I have this other layer I'm going to show you guys. So I have this other layer that I made all pink so that I could see if there's anything I missed when I erased him. So if there's any like little marks, so I'm going to zoom in. If there's any specks I missed, because that's a sharp color contrast, that gray against pink, I can see. So there's some little spots right here I missed when I was erasing. So now I see those better. I could see that better there than if that was not there. So if I took that away, see, I could see it better when it's there. Now I didn't do real good on these edges, so I can, maybe fix these edges. Oh, I'm on the wrong layer. I'm actually erasing that pink layer. Oops. Um, didn't do real good there. So I think I'll bring that pink there. See, I erased there. Oops, I accidentally erased right there. That's okay, I don't need that pink layer. That pink layer was just there to help me erase on him better. So now let me bring him down. So now I'm going to take him. So I've done pretty good. I've got just him in the chair. I do think he's a little bit bigger, so I'm going to take him down. So I'm going to make him smaller. So I'm going to come up here to this corner, and I'm just going to make him a little bit smaller. All right, so now I have him. So now I want the background. So if I don't have a background yet, I can find one. Um, your Chromebooks will not let you go to the stress. Well, some people were able to, but some people weren't. If you can go to Stark Search, and then you could find a background. But maybe you've got your own background that you want to use. Maybe you've got a picture with yourself already in it. I'm gonna. I was looking at some of these pictures. These are a stock image. I don't want one of those. I actually have one I want to use. So let me go back to uh, mine. I want to use this picture right here. So I want to click on it. So I have it. Oh, now I don't have Bernie anymore. So now I've got to find Bernie. Because when I did that, then I'm like, oh no, I've lost Bernie. So now I've got to find my Bernie, which is in here. He's not on my computer. He's in here. So let me see if I can't figure out how to find him. If I click toggle home, I want Bernie. Okay, so now I have both of them. There's the Bernie, and there's that one. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go, since I opened up there, that I'm gonna put Bernie in this picture. So I'm gonna click on the Bernie, and I'm gonna click on his layer. So I'm gonna make sure I'm just on his layer, and I'm gonna copy just him. So I can do edit, copy, or Control C for the shortcut. And then I'm going to come to that one since I have that there. And now I'm going to paste Bernie. So I'm going to edit paste. And Bernie should pay. There he is. Now see, he's way too big. So I'm going to shrink him. But I got to make him look like he belongs here. So I'm going to put him, see how the size of the people? So I got to make sure that Bernie is the same size as the people are, so he doesn't look out of place. So he's like a little bit further back from them. He is sitting down, so he should be a little bit smaller. So I'm going to put him right there. Now, see, if you look at it right now, he still looks like he's floating, and this is where the shadows come in. Now, I'm going to look at these people real good, and I see that the shadows, it looks like the shadow comes down to the right. So it's behind these people, and see where she's walking, where it's on her feet, and it's going to the right. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take Bernie. I'm going to duplicate his layer. So I'm going to go to layer. I'm going to duplicate the layer. So now there's two of him, one's on top of the other. I want the one that's on the bottom. Uh-oh, you know what I did? Because I was on the wrong layer, I duplicated the picture and not Bernie. So let me edit, undo. So I messed up. I see that on the layers palette. Make sure I'm on the Bernie layer. And now I'm going to duplicate the layer. So now I have two Bernies. Okay, so I want the one that's on the bottom. So I'm going to take that one. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to come to edit, and I'm going to do, I want to do a free distort because I'm also distorting it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull like this. See how I'm pulling? You see that? You see how that's been pulled? So I'm going to pull because now it's going to be a shadow. And I want to make sure, see where this is touching and also where that's touching. So I'm going to zoom in so you guys can see what I'm talking about. I've got to make it because I really want to make it look, I'm trying to get rid of this right there. I'm sorry, when I did that, it messed up. So let me do this again. Edit, free distort. So now I'm going to pull this. Now, as I'm doing this, I got to make sure that these legs are right under there and his feet is right under there. So as I do this, I'm going to make sure that, see that right there is right there. And I need that his feet to be right there. So I may have to play with it just a little bit to make sure that it's right there. So I want everything to be touching. So see, I can't have his shadow right here. I need that right there. I need his foot right there. It's going to be a little bit hard. It's not going to be easy. And see, I need those 2 feet right there. So I'm going to have to sit here and play with that if you understand what I'm talking about. But see, now I don't have this over here. That foot's got to be right there, and that legs are got to be right there. So it does not want to cooperate with me at all. Lay this down, lay this down. Take this up. Now, see, the problem is that this part's not lining up either. Lay him down like that. I'm going to keep messing with it. Keep messing with these corners. So I can get it right there. There we go. And now it's not under that foot. Oh, this is going to be, it's harder than you think. Do you want to apply? No, I don't want to. I'm still working on it. Oh, don't. Yeah, and it messed up on me. Okay. And that's because I hit something wrong. So now I'm going to try to do this again. So edit, free distort. It is harder than it looks because it's only going to let me do these 2 corners. Or these 4 corners. And then this ad keeps popping up. Oh, there's what's happening. It's like, no, I don't want to finish this. Can I cancel it? Oh, good, I can cancel. I don't want this. See, when I click on that, then that comes back up. So that's going to give me a hard time in it. This advertisement is in my way. I guess that's what we have to deal with when we've got this free. All right, I'm trying to line these up, and it is really, really hard. But you know what? I'm going to do my best here. And when I think it's lined up pretty good, now what I'm going to do is now I want to now click that and say, do you want to apply it? Yes, I want to apply it. I want that to be there. Yes. Okay, so see, now he's right there. Now what I've got to do is I got to take all the color out of him because it's a shadow. So I'm going to come up to layer. Now adjustment. I'm going to go to adjustment. I'm going to come down to, I think the hue saturation is going to work. I'm going to take out, I'm going to move that so you could see it. I'm going to take the lightness all the way out. Oh, no, no, no. I'm on the background. I don't know how that happened. I'm no longer on that. I want that distorted layer right there. Now, I go to adjustment, hue saturation, and I'm going to take the lightness all the way out of that so that it's dark. See how that's dark right there? So now I'm going to apply that. Now what I want to do is I want to blur it because it's a shadow, so it should be a little bit blurry. So I'm going to take, and I think I got to figure out where the blur is. Image, edit, layer. Well, maybe that's adjustment too. I got to find out where the blur is. Filter, filter, blur, filter. I'm not in Photoshop anymore, so I need to find where the blur is. So bear with me. Layer, image, edit. I want to blur it. I'm not seeing a blur. Oh, I don't want to, that's not it. Well, here's a blur tool. I didn't really think I wanted to do that, but let's see if I can, what this does, if I just kind of go over it. That's blurring it. All right, so that's blurring it. Now another thing I want to do with it is I want to take a little bit of, I want to make it a little bit transparent. So I think I saw that. Where did I see transparency? I want to take the transparency down on it. Temperature, tint, hue, vibrant. Where is transparency at? Well, let's come up here. Then maybe I can see transparency up here. Where is transparency? Is it right here? Transparency, there it is. Okay, so it's the little dots right here. And now my little picture's in the way. So here's the transparency. So I'm gonna take the transparency down a little bit. See what I'm doing? Did you guys see that? Now the only thing about it is I didn't line that up real well, so I'm gonna have to mess with that. So I'm gonna come back to this tool over here. the blur tool, I wonder if there's a smudge tool. Oh, it says smudge too. It says blur. Let me click on it, see what happens up here. Smudge. I want to do a smudge. The smudge will let me move it like I'm finger painting. See what I did? So that lets me smudge it. I want to edit undo. I don't like what I did quite right there. So I want to zoom in a little bit. Let me move him so we can see the picture. Okay, I'm moving the picture. And I really want to see that up there. Like I said, I gotta get used to Photoshop. I mean, to this one, it's not Photoshop. I know what I want to do. And I don't want to move the picture, but I do want to zoom in right there. Now I'm just going to have to try to do this. Okay, so I click there. It'll let me do the smudge right here. Make sure I'm on his layer. See, it jumps layer. You got to be careful. It'll jump layer on you. Let me lock this layer. That will, if I click right there, I can lock it, and now it won't move on me anymore. So now when I do this, I'm just going to have him. There we go. Now I want to smudge it. I want the size of my brush of the smudge to be smaller. Because what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of smudge so it's under there and up. It's actually making it a different color. I don't like that. So I'm learning. It's not quite, it's not Photoshop. I'm so used to Photoshop that this is a little bit different for me. I think what I'll do is I'll just leave it right there. I can't erase. I could also take this eraser. See, the nice thing about an eraser too is I can take the transparency down on the eraser too. See where it says opacity? Opacity is the opposite of transparent. So if I take the opacity down, I'm bringing the transparency up. So now I'm going to take this eraser and I'm just going to kind of erase a little bit right here. So I can't erase him because I'm not on his layer. I'm right here on this layer, but I might come here and lock his layer so that I don't accidentally erase him. So see if I erase this right here, all I'm doing is erasing that shadow that I make. I can't erase him, but that shadow is underneath there. Okay, so now let me, before I mess up, let me look at that shadow. That shadow is still a little bit too harsh, because see these shadows? So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna make sure I'm on that layer. I'm gonna take that transparency down on that shadow a little bit more. And remember, I found that transparency right here. So let me take that transparency down a little bit. Now another thing is this shadow layer is above the picture layer. So I've got it, I want to make it, I don't want that shadow to be above her. So I'm going to take the eraser and just make sure that I erase the shadow. Let me zoom in. I don't want the shadow on her. Oh, no, it's on her. Sorry, guys, I'm erasing her. See, it went to that layer. Even though I locked it, it still went to that layer. So always pay attention to this layers palette because it might fool you. I want to erase the shadow and not that. So I want to make sure that that shadow, let me make that bigger. I don't want that shadow right there. There we go. There. Now, Bernie's in that picture. Bernie's got a shadow underneath him. And that's what I wanted to show you guys is how to make a shadow. So you duplicate the image, you distort the image, you make it all black, but then you take the transparency down and you blur it. All right. That's it.